this is Russ. Yeah, I'm back out on the road again. What am I riding today? Well, technically, I'm not supposed to tell you. But you're not going to see this video until after I release my review of this bike. So this is the new Himiway D5 2.0 on its maiden voyage. Yeah, taking it out for the very first time, which is what we typically do when we do a review. So we check everything out first, see how it goes, see if it fits what we like, or if it doesn't fit what we like. It's the way to do it. So I'm testing it out right now. This is the very first time taking it out. So this bike has cadence sensor and torque sensor on here. And you need to go into the menu of the bike in order to change whatever settings you might have, whether you want a torque or a cadence sensor. Let's go around here. And so I currently have it on torque sensor. I'm sorry, cadence sensor. I figure I'd try that out first before I switch it over to torque sensor mode. Check that out. Let's turn here. So you got to put some miles on it just to kind of get a feel for what you think the bike will be able to do or not be able to do, and then you can come up with your conclusions later. Let's move up our pedal assist levels here a little bit. So let's go all the way up to as high as pedal assist level. Whoa, we're taking off really good here now. Maybe not. Let's lower that down a little bit. A little too fast. Okay. Yeah, I'm on tour mode. This is probably like pedal assist level 3, I think. Let me see. They have a turbo. All right, here's what they got. There's off, which means no assist at all. There's Eco Plus, Eco, meaning economy, Tour, Sport, and Turbo. So I'm going to put it in the middle one, which would be Tour mode. Let's see how that does. Brakes seem to be pretty good. Brakes are Tektro hydraulic brakes, so I always expect to be good. You can sometimes tell, you know, if it's a brand of brakes that you never heard of, then you got to really test it out really good because you don't know what it's going to do. But it seems to be okay. Let's check our gears out here. So I'm lowering my gears. These are trigger shifters, of course. Yeah, I'm able to get each gear. I can feel it shifting. I can hear it shifting. I can feel it on my pedal actually too. You know, when the gear shifts, you can feel it. So yeah, all 8 gears are working. No adjustments needed. Sometimes you need to adjust the gears. Yeah, I've had several bikes now where, you know, even when you do it for the review, and then it feels fine for the review, and then later on it kind of gets off kilter, then you got to make an adjustment. Sometimes I've actually even sold some of my review bikes and it hasn't been adjusted. I mean, it was fine for the review, so when you say what you're going to say, and then after riding for a little while, it kind of goes off a little bit. Sometimes that happens. You do have to make some tweaks after a certain amount of time. All right, so here's my first thought on this bike, and I will probably mention it on the review too. I can't get a full leg extension on this. I think this bike, if I'm not mistaken, Russ is always right, I told you. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it said it's good for riders up to 5'10", 5'11", something like that. I don't think so. I don't think so. No, I'm too bent. I need to be maybe 2 inches higher, 2 to 3 inches higher on my saddle to make me feel like I got a full leg extension. I mean, for those who want to keep their feet on the ground after they stop, then yeah, this is fine. But here's the reason why, and I already know why. It's not a fault of the design, but I think their claim of saying it's able to go higher for, you know, 5'10", 5'11" people is the saddle, the seat post is too low, too small, too short. I'm trying to come up with the words. It's too short. Why is it so short? Well, because you got a spring suspension in the back, right? And Halloween stuff are out already. So what happens here is that they want to be able to bring it down as low as they can, okay? So that they can say shorter riders can ride it. But then by doing that, then the the guys that need a higher seat post don't have it, you see? So if they gave you the leg extension because the seat post was taller, then they would have to say, instead of like 5'1", 5'2", or whatever their minimum is, would have to go up like 2-3 inches. Then it's like, okay, you have to be 5'5" or something, right? They don't want to say that because there's too many people who are shorter that can use it. So here's what I suggest you do. If you run into this type of situation, buy another seat post. It's not that expensive. They usually are roughly $20, $25, something like that on Amazon. Get another seat post. That's all you need to do. It's really simple. I will probably do that, but maybe not before I start doing the review. Do the review first, mention the comment on that, and then later on I'll change it out. But other than that, that's the first thing I noticed on this bike. It's too short. It's not the first one like that. I had another one that I changed out the seat post too. Was that the A7? I think it was the A7. I changed out that seat post as well because it also has a suspension system in the back, and so if you want to have a shorter rider ride it, you have to have a shorter seat post in order to claim like 5'1", 5'2", whatever their claim is. And then the higher guys, the guys like me who want that higher type of seat post height, we don't get it. So what would solve that is actually supplying 2 seat posts. I may suggest that to Himiway one day. Just say, look, some of your designs have this thing. Give them a second seat post. Charge it a little bit more for it. Charge them an extra $15 or whatever. Can't cost them that much for a seat post. And then that way, if they need to go to a higher thing, they can. And then they could also claim, instead of saying, say, 5'2" to 5'11" or whatever the heights are, you could say 5'2" to 6'4" if you wanted to, or whatever it happens to be, right? All you have to do is change out the seat post. That's an easy thing to do and be able to have a claim of a higher rating of height, see? So far, this rides really well. I'm pedaling the entire time here, by the way, all right, there you go, see, I'm pedaling. It's fine. I don't want to go too fast on these residential streets, but we'll have to test to see if I can go to 28. Now, here's the one thing that I know, because I've already been into the advanced sections of the menu. Let's turn here. I don't think I've ever been down this one here. I set it up for class 3 operation, but I also put the throttle at 28 miles an hour. Here's the nice thing. Oh, they got a whole bunch of garage sales going on right now. I put the ability to get a throttle to 28 as well as a pedal to 28, and you can change that. Apparently, you could do 28 pedaled and 20 throttled if you want, which is what many bikes do. But they give you the ability to change that out and make it 28 and 28. That I like. Motor seems quiet enough. I don't notice any huge amount of motor noise or whine. I mean, every bike has a certain amount, obviously. I mean, you can't expect it not to. It's a motor, right? But no, it feels good and sounds good. This bike is essentially the replacement for the Himiway Zebra. And if you know any history of the Russ is Right channel, you know how much I loved my Himiway Zebra. Yeah, I eventually moved it on, of course, to another person, and but I always kind of missed it. I ended up having a D7, which has gone to to Tom from Costco. If you watch the More from Russ channel, you know Tom because I feature him sometimes every now and then there. Yeah, he helps fill up my gas. He's the gas station attendant there, one of them. And we became friends because he rides an e-bike as well. So he has my D7 at this point. But I knew that bikes were coming in. I wasn't riding that as much, so Tom needed a new bike. I said he's the best guy to get it. So, all right, let's open this thing up. We'll go to the fastest turbo mode. Now again, I'm on cadence sensors. I'm testing this out. So I'm just gonna move my legs. I'm not going to pedal hard because it doesn't really matter because it is a cadence sensor. So I don't know if you can see the shadow, but you can see I'm not going fast or hard on my pedaling. I just want to see if we can hit our 28. And we are. We're hitting 28.4, 25. Yeah, so yeah, I'm gonna slow down now because we're going way too fast for our speed conditions here. Yeah, nice. All right, it's time to change it over to turbo mode. Let me do that. Let's go here in the shade. It rained today, man. It was like pouring today. All right, so to do this, let me angle down here so you guys can see. Hopefully I'll remember to flip it back. So to do this, I believe you hold the M button. And you'll see there's menu settings here. Secret code is 0510. That's always been the Himiway secret code. 0510. So let me see. Assist mode setting, is that what it is? Let's check. Assist torque setting. Nope, that's where you can actually change the torque settings. We're not gonna do that. Assist sensor switch. Can't talk here. Here we go. So let's move it to torque mode. Let me make sure it's on there. It stayed there. Yep, it did. So let's see if there's an exit. Nope. Let's see. I think you just push the power switch. Hold the power switch. Oops. I shut the whole thing down. See, I'm still learning. This is the thing. You gotta learn how do you accept it. I don't know if it accepted it or not. All right. Well, let's move you back to the front here. Maybe about here. Let's try that. All right. So now, if it's torque, I should know it. So I'm gonna have to push down harder. Let me move my pedal assist level up a little bit here. Let's get past this stop sign first. So the way I test to see if it truly is a torque sensor, let me get started. I don't have enough leg power to get me started. All right. So I'm barely pedaling. I'm getting about 16. I'm gonna press down harder. And you can see we're picking up. This is torque now. Yeah, this definitely is. It accepted the torque mode. You could tell. I mean, I can feel it. I have to put some effort to get there. Let's put some harder pressure on it. Yeah, see, it's going up. 24, 25. And I'm not gonna go all the way. We know it's gonna do 28. We already know that. Let's turn here. Now we do have turn signals on here. But again, turn signals are only in the back, right? So this is why I think we should have front turn signals too. I'll tell Himiway. I should just tell these companies, you know, this is what I think. You know, whether they do it or they don't, it's up to them, but this is what I think. Yeah, torque sensor works fine. Now, here's the one thing that I noted immediately when I got the bike, okay? Let's make our turn first. Here's the one thing I noted immediately. I wanted to put a side view mirror like I always do, but the pad and the throttle control, okay, let me angle down a little bit. Pad and throttle control is actually one unit. A lot of companies have a separate control pad and a separate separate control pad and a separate throttle, okay? But the throttle is part of the control pad. So in order to use the throttle, you have to keep this thing close to the grip, right? So usually for my side view mirror, I usually put it over here to get it closer so it sticks out further, right? Well, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that because I need to have that throttle closer. This way? Yeah, let's go this way. So I had to put the side view mirror further in, right? Unless you use something like a bar end mirror, which I usually don't anyway. But I had this mirror. This mirror was given to me by XWing helmets, right? They also have accessories, and they have a mirror that they gave me. It's a long extension of this. That made it easy to fit this bike. So my own personal recommendation, if you want this style of mirror and you don't want to go to a bar end mirror, mirrors hang out way out here. I would get the XWing mirror because it fits perfectly for this bike. So thanks to XWing for that. So now I don't have to lean too far. I mean, I do see myself about right here. My arm is, I can see this edge here is my arm, but it's not really in my way, and I could see fully stuff to the side and things coming coming up from behind me, that is, right? The purpose of a side view mirror. So let's check out the suspension here. Okay. I think I need to adjust the front suspension. Not getting enough bounce that I would like, so let's adjust that. So we'll pull over, let's pull over here in the shade. Well, a little bit of shade. All right, so we gotta make that adjustment. So it's usually here you have a lockout thing. And you got spring-loaded thing here. These are always very tight. I don't know why they're... There we go. It's opposite of what I thought. Okay. All right. So I have... I don't know if this is adjustable. I have to check in the menu, but I noted that when I hit the throttle, it's not immediately moving as fast, meaning it doesn't respond as quickly. I think that may be in the settings. I think I may have changed the setting because I was messing with it for a while. I think I need to have that respond quicker. I'll have to check that. We'll check it before I do the actual review. Let's do some bounce here. Oh yeah, here we go. Now I have a front end bounce and a back end bounce. Because we have a suspension on the seat, right, on the seat post. The spring suspension, and then we got the front fork suspension too. This is a RST Guide, I think. Let me see. Yeah, it's an RST Guide front fork, which is very well known to being very good and costs a little bit more. Yeah, I think they're going to do well with this one. Now, like I said, this bike is supposedly the replacement of the Zebra, which became the D5. And now this is the D5 2.0. So we kind of fully expect it was going to perform. All right, we're going to go. Just make sure all the cars know it's my turn, I'm going to go. So I fully expected this was going to be good. Now, I had actually asked Himiway for this model, right? Because they told me before, it says when we get the new models out, you will be the first guy we will contact. Well, they put it up on the website. I think they were doing beta tests. I know one of my subscribers said he got one of the beta test, or was getting one of the beta test D5 2.0s. I already had mine. I just didn't want to say anything at that time to him. But yeah, I already had it in the house already. And the box came in all damaged. That was another thing. Yeah, and then that's not their fault. Obviously, that's the carrier's fault, which was FedEx. Yeah, it had two huge holes in the side of the box, in the corner, I would say, the corner edges of the box. And then the box itself was like totally crumpled. I mean, it was really crumpled. So, but they packed the bike so well with the foam. They did it differently than they typically do. It literally encases the bike in the foam. You know, some of these companies have like foam pieces, and then it's like front end piece, back end piece. You know, this was one piece. Whoops, sorry, one large foam piece that encased the entire bike. That thing protected the bike. I think if it hadn't had that, this bike would have came in with major damage. No damage at all, zero. Okay, I think the kickstand had a little rub on it from the holes that they put into the thing. But yeah, it's the kickstand, and you don't really notice it. I mean, you'd have to look for it, and I put a magic marker on that thing, and it's basically back to the way it is, black magic marker. So it's one advantage of things being black. You can just magic marker any scuff like that, and you'd never know it. Let's pedal a little bit more here. Yeah, so what's my initial impression? Yeah, I like it. It works really well. Torque sensor works well. Cadence sensor works well. This is not unexpected, okay? It's a Himiway bike, come on. Himiway is very well known for good quality product. It always has been for me. I always liked the Zebra. Felt bad when I had to sell off the Zebra. But, you know, it was going to turn into something else, and it became the D5. I didn't ask for a D5 at that time because they gave me a D7. So then when this 2.0 came around, I asked them for one, and I said, can you send me that? And he goes, of course. But they were, you know, they were all sold out. Well, technically, I don't know if they were selling yet, but all they had were like beta testers checking the bikes out at that time. And they didn't have any, so, but they found two of them that still hadn't gone out to any of the beta testers. And so, so they said, we'll send one to you ASAP, and they did. And I had asked for the step-through version. As you know, I like the step-through models now because it's just easier to, instead of having to swing your leg over. But all they had was the step-over version, so they sent over the step-over. That's fine, it's not a real big deal. But my own personal preference would be the step-through at this point, because I think it's easier. All right, there is, I keep using my hand thing, but there are turn signals on here. So the pad here has turn signals. I tested it out at home, it works. What's kind of cool is that they put the turn signals on a separate area in the back there, and it is really good. And you could even set it up, if you push both at the same time, it becomes like a flashing, what would you call that? Hazard light, you know, where both sides flash at the same time. So it could be a hazard light or a turn signal. Yeah. Let's check out the display screen here. Let me see. Yeah, so you can trigger different responses as to information that it gives you. Let's take a right here. Let's push the turn signal thing there. So yeah, so here it tells me torque or cadence. It tells me what you're on. Let's trigger through a couple more here. Trip odometer, average, max, watts, time, calories burned, CO2, torque, cadence again, trip odometer. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right. Everything seems to be working fine. Yeah, not an issue on anything so far. You can also set up the battery. You could have the battery in terms of how many bars are left, and then also you can set it up so that you see the actual voltage as well. So this is a 48 volt, 15 amp hour battery on here. So I'm down to 4 bars, and I'm down to 48.7 volts right now. Yeah, usually 48 volt batteries go higher than just 48 when you first get it. So as I slow down, you can see it goes to 50.7. So yeah, when it's under load meaning when you're actually working the battery, then you'll see it drop. So now it says 48.7 again. Yeah, this is how we basically do a pre-test. You kind of do a pre-ride first before you do the actual review. So you'll see this video sometime after the review has actually released. But I wanted to take you out, show you my process of what I do to make some determinations. So most bikes, I will take it out and do what I'm doing right now, test out the functions, see how it goes, you know, and then I'll be able to formulate what I'm going to say on the review. Now, here's one thing. Himiway asked me, he says, can you get the review out as soon as you can? Okay, thank you, Himiway. Okay, I'm going to go. Let's go down this way. Yeah, I said, yeah, I can. I don't have any other bike reviews to do right now, so I said, yeah, I'll do it as fast as I can. So I'm not pressed for anything else in advance ahead of them. So I says, yeah, let me do my basic pre-testing, and then I'll get right to the actual review as fast as I can. No problems. I'm going to say right now, no problems. Everything is exactly the way it should be on this bike. I don't hear any squeaks or rattles or anything like that. Let's go up one more. The brakes work well. The gears are shifting well. The suspension is working well. If I had to say anything negative, and it's not a negative, it's just in the design, right? I kind of wish this had a 20 amp hour battery. Yeah, but you know, when they do that, then the price goes up, and then the down tube becomes thicker. Oh, sorry, I keep bumping into the bell. And the bell is the standard bell that they have here. I didn't change it out to my normal bell. Let's go to, yeah, we are on turbo mode. So yeah, if I'm on turbo mode and I'm just casually riding, I'm hitting it around 18, 19 miles an hour. If I pedaled harder, I'd be able to go faster. So I'm gonna switch it back to cadence sensor. Let's do that. Let's pull over here. I always pull up next to a curb to do that. So let me do that. So plus minus thing together at the same time. Nope. Sorry, forgot. M button at the same, long hold. So it's 0, 5, 1, 0. Okay, so where was that again now? Gotta remember. Assist system settings, I think, and nope, that wasn't it. Oh, eBike class, I have that on class 3, so let's back it up. Assist mode settings. There we go. So you do throttle settings here too. Power response tuning, is that the one that goes? No, power start, powering, and I don't know what that means. I'll have to play with that. Standard, most rapid. Oh, here we go, maybe that is. Let's go most rapid. Let's see what that does. Go back. Maybe that'll have a faster startup when you start pedaling. Assist ratio, assist torque setting. Is that what it is? Oops. Let me go back here. Assist system setting. Is that it? Nope, that's not it. Assist mode setting. Whoops. I keep hitting the wrong buttons. What's wrong with me here? Assist mode setting. Assist torque setting. Is that it? Nope, wrong one. Let's go down one. Ratio setting. Nope. Oops, keep going the wrong buttons here. Assist sensor switch. There we go. Go back to cadence. Oops, did that accept it? Yeah, it accepted it. Okay. Okay, there we go. No, it still has a slower start. Maybe there's something in there that I don't know. I'm not hitting right to speed that up. This street over here seems to have a block party going on. Look, take a look. You see that? Yeah, so they closed off that street. They have like a cul-de-sac there. Perfect thing for a block party. So anyway, yeah, this bike seems to be doing pretty good. I don't think there's any problems at all that I'm noticing with this bike. I've ridden it now for a while. What is it at? 11 miles of riding. I can pretty much tell. Yeah, it's gonna get a pretty good review, except for the odds and ends things I've noted so far, which is basically just the seat post height. Yeah, I can't get full leg extension. I'm gonna have to buy a separate taller seat posts. The thing is, when you buy the seat posts, you got to make sure that the diameter fits the seat post opening. So you got to check the specifications before you order seat posts. And then what I would do is I would measure the seat post to find out what the height of the current seat post is and go higher than that. All right. I think in the past I've tried to look for things that are like 300 millimeters in size, something like that. 300, 350. I don't recall. It depends on you know, how much height you actually need. You don't need the tallest thing if you don't need it. But so what I do is I measure the height of the current seat post, and then I figure out how much higher do I really need to be, and then I add that to the current seat post height, and then I can tell, you know, I need X amount of length, and then I just want to make sure that the diameter is correct. Yeah. Anyways, that's basically all I have for you guys for today. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. I'll be releasing this video sometime after the review video comes out. I want to let you see and hear what I have to say on the review video first, and then you can watch this video. You can see my process of how I came up with those conclusions for the review itself. Okay. All right. I'll talk to you guys next time.